Okay, here we are, all set for another VP4 US Open 2016 match, and we are just waiting on both players arriving. Andrew is in, and Andrew's from Scotland, but of course I'll be totally impartial, and he's waiting to play Shibo, or Diablo as I prefer to call him, and he's arrived. And now we're going to have the lag, race to 21, no handicap. And I don't know whether both of them have got the same cue, so can't tell who's who. And Andrew wins the lag, and he's going to break off. Well, first break, and we've got a ball in the break, but he's got no shot. So, just while they're messing around here in the first rack, what we'll do is we'll try and find the tournament. I'll see if I can find it by checking the banners in here. I don't know whether it will work in a room. No, it doesn't. So, what I'm going to have to do is try it in the lobby, I think. Oh, there we go. Now, there we go. So that's a non-handicapped event. And of course the URL isn't working. That's clever. Well, nice cut, but no shot in the two. Right, I'm going to try that again. It probably won't work. I'll try the other one, see if we can find it. No, we're getting a failed URL, which is a new bug that's appeared this morning after the update. And that's a good kick, but Shibo will be able to jump this, no doubt. But he's going to be lucky he gets anything near the 3, so probably just a safety. Now I think I might be slightly out of sync here. I'll wait and see what happens. We're getting that pause again, and we had it last night at times. Right, what we'll do is I'll just make a quick exit of the match just now. We'll try the banners again and see what happens. Right. No, I'm still getting that error. So what I'm going to have to do is to do it the old-fashioned way and go to the calendar and go back to a week yesterday, which was when the tournament started. So we'll go back to last Saturday, and there is the tournament there, and hopefully we'll get the bracket to open this time. Now this match is scheduled up there. It's a round 2 match. Oops, bracket was got a mind of its own as well. Right, I wish this would stop bloody well moving. Right, that's the one. Top of the pile there, Andrew versus Shibo. Match started at 10 o'clock, 10 AM Sunday morning. And the winner of this match is going to have a tough match because they're going to be playing Mr. Bill in the next round. And things are beginning to shape up in the bracket now. Right, so we will, in fact what we'll do is I'm wondering why the bracket hasn't updated also. That's another slight worry, because the match has started and I don't have the little symbol to join the room. Let me just refresh the page and we'll try again. Normally you can access the live match from the bracket, but there isn't anything happening there. I wonder if that'll update when the first rack's won. Might be another bug. Right, anyway, let's rejoin the match. And we see that Andrew has won the first rack. The bracket hasn't updated. Not yet, anyway. Now he just needs to get this cue ball out off the 6 ball. I think he's got an angle there just to run through off the rail back out into the middle of the table. And again, an angle to run through off the end rail and back up. Leave himself a nice angle on the 8 ball. Well, the cue ball stuck next to the rail, it just reduces your options. It should be okay. Well, Andrew seems to have found a pace straight away. Maybe he was warming up offline before he came on. Oh dear, that's a bad one. I don't know how he lined himself up to that, but he should have, if he wasn't happy, he should have realigned up. Took his time. Well, there's a gift. So, it's 1-all. And is that 9 ball tracking? Well, it's come up dry, and that 7 ball isn't going to block it, I think, is it? Or else Andrew's going to have an easy combo. Well, I think he can squeeze the one past the 9. It's tight, but he can. But he's got to just miss the edge of that 7 ball. And he hit it too far right. But that takes away the chance of the combo now anyway. Has that run past the 5? I think it has. Again, Shibo looking to get in control here. Fell short on a 3. Tried to play the little hook shot, didn't get it. But he might find himself in trouble in a second or two. Andrew looking to hide the cue ball up at the top end, I think. And that's fell short. Well, maybe he's not found the pace, but he's left a bank on here. Or a cut. And the cue ball needs to slow up. And that's pretty good. Now, as long as he can squeeze past that 9 ball. I don't know whether he can. Well, yes, just made it. But once again, he's stuck to the rail, and that's never a good place to be. Now there is an angle there, so again he can get out into the middle of the table. Doesn't want to overhit it. And he's overhit it. Way too much. Well, he's either going to bite the bullet here or play safe, and he's made his mind up, and that's a good shot. Just to roll in. And Shibo takes the lead. And the 2-ball just manages to spin into the top right hand corner. We've got 8 over the bottom left, and he's also got a shot on the 1. Now, a nice delicate little cut on the 1. And he can get himself across for the 3 into the middle. It's a narrow angle, but he's played it well. And just needs to stop the cue ball. Because if he's going to run through, he might run through too far. Now what does he do? Let's have a look at his angle. That needs to keep running. And the cue ball again, he's got to watch the pace. He's got to get the cut. It might have to come across twice, this ball. Got to get the cut in the 5. And it needs to slow down. It's not bad. Now, if anything, he wants to just run through a little bit and bounce around the corner and get the cue ball into the table. When he's done that, and he's also got an angle on that 8 where he can come off the side rail and get the cue ball across. Well, he's went for the crazy draw. He didn't need to do that. And if anything, this is a slightly more awkward shot than lining the cue ball up to the right hand side at the bottom side of the 9. But he gets it. So very early on, Shibo has got himself a little bit of daylight between him and Andrew. Cue ball scratched though. And let's see what Andrew can do with ball in hand. 3-ball up there lurking behind the 4. So he's got to navigate a path to get up that end. He's probably just going to stop the cue ball and leave the 2 into this bottom right hand corner. That looks as if what he's lining up for. But again, he doesn't want to go too straight. How does that look? Well, he can go through with plenty of top, but he's got to avoid the 6 and the 8 ball. That's the path to go. Well, he's hit the 6, but it's done him a favour. And now he can drop the 3 in and come out the left hand side of the 4. He'll have to do that because he's stuck to the rail again. Well, he managed to hold it. I thought he would have had to run through. That's not bad. A roll in the 9 should do the job. That's the first real unforced error, and Shibo needs to just take his time. Wasn't expecting to come back to the table in this rack, but he's left with a dicey little cut in the 6 here, and he's got to obviously go over for that 7. Cue ball needs to keep running, and it needs to keep going past that 9. I think he's alright. And now no problem for position. Cue ball's going to go straight across for that 8 into the top right. Oh, he's made a hash of the cut though. And that could be one that got away. And these are the type of chances that Shibo's got to capitalise on. He might not get an awful lot, but when you do get them, you've got to be ready to pounce. Andrew plays the bank. He's run too far though, so now it looks as if he's lined up for the bank past the 9. Now what does that look like? Well, there's plenty of room, so it shouldn't be a problem. And these kind of banks you just should play at medium pace. He's played that firmer than it. Where's the cue ball going though? Well, that probably was part and parcel of why he ended up scratching. He didn't need to hit that as hard. 9 balls right in the middle of the table. You're bound to have had a shot on it. And in the end, he threw it away. And early on, Shibo's got a little lead. Leads by 4 racks to 1. And a break. And again, dry break. And Andrew's not got a shot because I don't know whether he can cut that one down the rail without scratching. Let's have a look at that one. Well, he might be able to come off the knuckle, but it's an awkward one to judge. Well, I think he decided on the cross double rather than risking trying to take the cut, and he's almost got away with it. So the 1 doesn't pass to 7, so in this instance, is he trying to thin cut that in the middle? No. Playing the safety, that was a wise shot. But this time Andrew's got a chance to get that cue ball up behind the 3. I don't know whether he can avoid the 8 ball though. But that's maybe what he's looking to do. Well, he's got it the other way. Left the 1 ball hooked behind the 7. And Shibo's only got the kick off the bottom rail here. He's got no... I don't think he's any access off the side rail. Well, that was a good shot. That was well played. Controlled the pace and left the cue ball in behind the 7. But this is a good odds bank. Well, Andrews made a bit of a hash of that as well. He should have at least hit the 1 ball. There's strong odds of that 1 ball going into the middle. So once again, Shibo has been handed an opportunity to run this rack out, and that's going to be falling short this time. Now he's going to have to try and kick it in, and already with the first positional shot, he's almost blew his chances. And these are the type of things that if you're going to progress in this tournament, you've really got to tighten up positional play. Well, that was too thin. And so Andrew's been handed it back. Shibo doesn't want it, so let's see if Andrew will take his chance this time. Oh, Andrew, that's very slack. And from looking as if he had the pace of the table, he's maybe worrying more about the scoreboard already when there's when there's a long way to go, and he should be settling down. That was careless. Loads of room to go on that 4. And now he's having to jump it and cut it in, and he plays a good jump. How's his position? Well, he's got a shot. Again, he's got to be careful. The in-off is on. He's going to be coming across for the 6. But this has again got to be cut with a little bit of pace to get it to the pocket. And those pockets will not let you in, especially when you're hitting the rail first. So Andrew again passes up an opportunity. Don't tell me he's hooked himself again. Let's have a look. Good God. Out with a jump stick. And we've got this big pause going on again. In goes the 6 with a jump. Now he can just roll through and take this 8 ball into the middle, but he's stunned it. And again, that's just not thinking. A roll through would have left him over on the left hand side for the 8 ball into the middle, and he's leaving himself problems. And that's why he's ended up doing that. And again, with these longer matches, at some point you're going to be found out what your weakness is. And the positional play there, I don't know whether he didn't see the shot that way, but the natural path of the cue ball was running past the 8 to leave the 8 into the right middle. And now Andrew has a chance to finish the torture in this rack. Excuse me. It's a bit early on a Sunday morning. This match started at 10 AM and already we've played 25 minutes. And we're just into the 6th rack. And eventually the 9 ball goes in. But it was not a pretty rack, that one. The less said about that, the better. Two ball into the bottom right. Now again, there's a great temptation to play the cut on this 1 ball down the rail. And of course, where the 3 ball is, he's got a good chance of getting a shot on the 3. But he's deciding the wiser shot is to play a safety. And that's the right thing to do. Now I wonder if Shibo can clip the edge of that one. And he's played that well. It needs to keep going. Another 2 or 3 inches. Oh, that's unlucky. That could have been really tight. Well, the 4 balls there is a blocker. And so is the 6 up in the top left. So again, Andrew's maybe going to look at... is he looking at a safety or looking at banking that one onto the 6? Hard to tell. he needs to look at his extension, because he's already used that up, and he's only got he's got no extension left in this rack, I think. So Shibo gets out the jump cue again, and again we've got that big pause. Happened in the match last night as well. I don't know whether there's debugging software in, well, and it's doing the same thing again. And that was a bad miss by Shibo. He's allowing Andrew to, well, he's allowing Andrew the opportunity to get himself back into it. But the question is whether Andrew's going to take the chance. And this is a tester again. He's either going to leave this long, or he's going to run the cue ball up the table. So he's preferring to play the long option. But he's got the cue ball probably in about the best position he could. And the old draw shot again has been the undoing. You're always likely to send that ball offline doing that. And I think really the fact that Andrew doesn't play an awful lot online, I think that's becoming self-evident. He's not a player that we see regularly in the lobby. We don't see him in challenge rooms. Very rare appearances. He maybe plays most of his game offline. And it's maybe beginning to show. I have to say as well though, Shibo doesn't get to play much 9-ball at all. Well, much online. Not as much as he used to. And so these two players are sort of coming in here cold. They've not been in any tournaments recently, so that match practice isn't there. And this is a bit of an ugly looking rack here. 7-ball and 5 balls tied up, and this isn't an easy one. Maybe try and draw into that 5 and 7 and try and hold the cue ball, but it's asking a lot. Well, that's worked out perfectly. He's used the 5 and 7, got that nasty little cut out the way, and he's sitting pretty good on the 2 now. He just needs to kill this cue ball. If he just stops the cue ball, he's got the 3 into the middle. The only problem there is he's not going to have a great angle probably to come back for the 4. Well, has he got the angle? Let's see. Yes, he has. He can run off that side rail, come back across for the 4 into the other corner. We might have to play this with a little bit of right English, I don't know. Well, he's deciding to try and just stun it there. And now, whatever he does, he's not got to tangle with that 6 and 9 ball. And this time he's going to be playing the 6 at distance, and if you look at where the 7 is, that means he's going to have to draw this 6 in or run around the angles. So he's going to have to play a forcing shot, and we know what happens on a lot of these occasions. You've got to get it clean. And it needs to avoid the 8. Well, that was running perfect for the 7. And now he's probably going to look to tuck Shibo up behind the 8, or he's going to go all out for the bank. Tucks it up behind the 8 ball, and that's a toughie. Although the angle he's got would allow him to kick that 7 ball off 2 rails. Just aim at that middle diamond at the bottom of the screen. Well, he's looking around. He hasn't looked behind himself yet. He's just looking to see if he can get the angle off the left rail. Now, I don't think the angle's there to do it that way, so he's going to have to play that with a lot of left English to make the angle to get across for the 7 doing it that way. And he needs to watch his shot clock. Well, he's got the kick. Now, if that stops in the middle, it's making it awkward, but it's run on. And Andrew, I think, can just draw off the 7 and hold for the 8 here. I'm just going to leave the long 9, I would assume. In goes the 9, and Shibo still leads by 5 racks to 3. Well, that 7 ball needs to get out of the way, or Shibo would have been playing the billiard onto the 3 there, but as it is, he's hooked. Now he's got a choice: play the push out, or he can actually, well, he could see the edge of it, but he's teed it up. I'm wondering why he didn't look at the kick. Well, there's an issue over on the right hand side of the table, and with this shot in the 2 ball, let's look at his angle he's got. Well, it's not the right angle. Now, what's he thinking here? This is going to be difficult to get onto the 3. So he's now into his extension, and that needs to spin across inside English to check the cue ball, and he's gone too far. So he played the right shot, but he just played it at the wrong pace, and now this is a kick and hope. But the saviour might still be that 4 and 5 ball, unless the combo gets played on it. I don't think he can cross bank this 3, because there'll be, that needs to get to a rail, and it hasn't got to a rail. So now we're going to find out how Shibo's going to negotiate this problem. and he's looking to see whether he can get any position where he can try and get across there, and I don't think he can. So he's trying to keep it tight. Well, there's a chance here to try and tuck the cue ball in behind the 5 and 4, but it's got to be played in a controlled way. Well, he's spun that the other way and spun out behind the 7. Hit that too hard. Well, now the cue ball's going to be at the right end of the table here. If he wants to try and play a combo in this 4 and 5, he's going to have to make it. There's nothing set there, and it isn't easy. But maybe Andrew will thin off that 4 and try and tuck Shibo behind the 5. He's got the opportunity to do it, but he needs to watch he doesn't scratch. But I think he's looking to, yeah, he's looking as if he's going to try the combo. And that his shot clock's running out here, so he needs to get a move on. And Andrew does like to take his time over the shots, but the problem is when he's got awkward shots like that and he's already used his extension, he's then finding he's going to have to rush his shots, and that's never a good thing. So Shibo now with another excellent opportunity. Oh, and that's ended up a problem. You don't want to be playing the Chinese snooker over the 7 ball at this stage. And he's nudged the 9 out the way. And again, it's a delicate little combo required. He doesn't want that 6 ball to run out of control here. It can easily go wrong. Well, now he's in no man's land. He's got a straight choice: cut it to the corner or cut it to the middle. If he cuts it to the middle, the cue ball's going up towards that 7 and go near the corner pocket. But whatever you do, you've got to do it and play it positively and get on with it. He's played it long and it just creeps in. That was well done. Again, no great need to let that cue ball run around the table. So Shibo opens up the gap to 3 racks again and gets a ball in the break. And how's his luck this time? Well, that's better. The 2 ball's gone down. He's got a simple enough cut in the 1. And he's just ran too far again, or not far enough. But I think he can still get that cut in the 3. And the cue ball this time does have to move unless he plays this really softly. And he's just got it. And now cut down the rail. And these are always a problem because, you know, he goes out of line, he's out of line, he's having to pull out shot after shot. And somehow he's finished on the 5, I think. Needs to nudge something here. Well, that's missed the 8, and that's perfect. He can just do a little soft draw off that 6, and he's on the 7. Well, he didn't get the draw, stunned into the 7, and now he's out of line. And that's not done himself any favours. Didn't want the collision in the 8 ball, and he's given Andrew a good chance here. Now there's a big margin of error here, just a straight draw, plenty of room, shouldn't be a problem. So now the margin's down to 2 racks. Again, the balls open up nice, good spread, but no ball goes down. And all Shibo's going to have is a push out. Now, I don't know whether Andrew can try a shot to nothing here, or whether he can actually just bank that back up the table. If he banked to 1 back up the table, there's a risk of it hitting the 2. But he might try and send the cue ball up by the 5 ball and try and get cover. And at the same time he could try the cut in the 1. Well, he's got it too thin, and that's going to be sitting up there for Shibo in a minute. Again, poor positional shot, didn't want to hit the 7. Well, that 2 in theory does go past the 5, but it's really tight, so nothing really on there. Or past the 5, did I say the 7? Remember, it's early Sunday morning. Is the 8 ball going in? He doesn't want it to. Has he got on the 2 though? Well, I think he can see the potting angle no problem. And that was well controlled, judged it well. Sitting nice on the 3. Now he can draw off the 5, leave the 6 into the same pocket. He's got the angle to do that. And he's overcooked it a wee bit. Still okay though. And now Needs the right pace to come up below the 7 rather than leaving it long. Needs to get down towards us at this end. And that'll do. And so Andrew tidies up in rack number 11. And reduces the margin to just 1 rack now. Shibo still leads by 6 racks to 5. Eight ball just spinning on the edge of the pocket, but it refuses to go down. And Shibo's going to have an easy 1-9-8 combo. Oh dear. Well, how on earth did he manage to avoid sinking the 8 ball? I think hitting it too soft was part of it. I think he tried to leave the 1-9 combo after the 8 had dropped, and in the end he's got nothing. So the billiard off the 1 onto the 9 onto the 8. And now that's finished awkward. He's going to run this into the bottom right hand corner. He's definitely going to be in the 2, no problem. The question is whether he goes for the run out or he looks for the combo on that 9. And the best bet for that is going to be the 5 ball. But he's got to get this 1. So there's a wee bit of pressure on it here, and again he needs to watch his shot clock. He's into his extension. In goes the 1, nice and clean. Now, is he going to try and just drop behind this 3? Could play the 3-9 combo. That's simple enough. I don't think he can drop behind it. It looks too thin a cut in the 2. Oh, he has. Well, that'll do it. Well, I think as long as he gets that 3 ball near the 9, he should have the combo. Well, what's he looking at? Yes, he's lining it up. In goes the 9, and we're all square now. 6 racks all. 50 minutes into the match. 6 ball into the bottom right. But then again, just nothing doing on the 1 ball. I don't know whether he can see the thin edge in that 1. I think he can. Question is whether he can squeeze past the 3 ball to do it. But he doesn't like it, so just playing the push out, and he'll probably end up back in again. I think Shibo will be passing that back. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. Yeah, doesn't like it. Let Andrew deal with it. Well, he's managed to kick it from behind. Oh, and that's a perfect kiss in the 9. Well, this is close to the 8 ball. Can he get that cue ball up high enough over the 8 if he's going to jump? No, I'd be kicking this off that top end rail there, down off the bottom rail and try and kick the one. Well, he managed to get the jump, but it has to be said, it's an opportunity for Andrew. Now, we lost a connection here. We might have. I think Andrew's gone. Oh no, he's still there. I thought we were having a disconnection. And he's left it short again. Gets the cut. It's going to have to be another good shot. You can pot the 3. Cue ball can, I think, avoid the 5 ball and go around and come out for the 4 into the left middle. So, Andrew's extension's gone. He's finished dead straight in the 5. So he's just going to leave this at distance unless he draws all the way up the table, draws back to where he is and round behind the 7. Well, he's just stunned it, so he's playing it at distance. But really nothing he needs to do. The only concern would be if he leaves himself the wrong side of the 8. It just means he has to manoeuvre the cue ball. Ideally he wants to get the cue ball out so that he can just draw in behind the 9. So if the cue ball was somewhere where the 7 is at the moment, that's perfect. That's the ideal shot. So now you can do a little stopper in the cue ball, just draw it slightly. Doesn't need to thump it. Well, he thumped it and he's okay. Now Andrew goes into the lead. But 7 backs to 6. Cue ball scratching. No, that was unlucky because this 8 ball kicked that in. Now Shibo's in control of the table. And the only real problem's a 1 ball. But he's got ball in hand, so I think he's distracted doing something here, and he might, as long as he's paying attention, he'll see his ball in hand. I don't think that's finished too nice. No. He's going to be into his extension. Why not take it into the middle? You can roll it into the middle and roll through for the 2 into this bottom right hand corner as we look. Well, he's finished okay. So now he's used his extension up. And a little drawback. Now what does he do? There's no way that's a good combination shot, that 4 and 6. So he's tried to nudge it and he's got himself in trouble. And trying to tuck Andrew up behind the 6. How's that finished? Well, that's pretty good. He'll be happy with that. How's his luck? Well, he's left it tough. It's one of these cutbacks into a blind pocket. Cue ball's going to be running around though for the 5. Oh, it just squeezes in. Where's the cue ball going though? He's stunned off the side rail. And that was a great pot, but always risky. Coming off the side rail and coming across that way. And that's handed it back to Andrew. Well, that's a bit short. And these are the problem shots. It's got to be a controlled shot here to get on the 8. And Andrew's extension's gone, so he's got to be careful with the time here. And where's the cue ball going? I think it's okay. Well, Shibo's found himself stifled in the last few racks. He just cannot get the momentum going, and all of a sudden Andrew's now leading by 8 racks to 6, and that's a bit of a dead break. But in drops the 4. He's no shot in the 1. Well, now Andrew's got a problem to deal with. There's no way he can make any angle. He is going to try and spin around the 2 onto this end rail down here by the 6 and try and spin back up into the 1. This is probably the toughest shot you'll see, to judge the spin to get the ball to bank back up to the inside. Was he trying a Massey? Well, I think that's what he did try. He did try to spin it, but hit it far too hard. And Shibo needs to take this rack. And this is just a little draw. Nothing fancy. He's looked at the potting angle he's going to have on the 7. And a nice angle to get the cue ball into the middle of the table. That's all he needs to do. And he's played it fine. So this match has been going for just over an hour. And Shibo gets one back. And trails by 8 racks to 7. And in goes the 9. Well, he certainly couldn't have came at a better time, that 9 ball. And another ball in the break, and he's got a shot in the 1. And is this going to give him a little bit of momentum now? Well, that fell short. He's still got an angle there to follow through. He's playing this with inside English. Yeah, I don't know. Again, lashed out at it, didn't take his time. And just when you get that momentum, he's doing his best to throw it offline again. Hit that far too hard. Well, the difficulty here is holding for that 5. He can't do it, so he's got to run up and down the table and got to avoid that 8 ball. Not only that, he's still got to get this cut shot in. He's got that. Where's the cue ball going? That's a scratch. Well, here's a gift for Shibo. Oh, it's not a scratch, it's held up. Oh, well, he was lucky there. All part of the game. But let the cue ball get away a wee bit there. And just a little drawback. Well, he can go straight through off the end rail and back up the left hand side of the table as we look. It looks as if he's playing a draw. I don't know why. This can go wrong if he plays a draw, or is he just going to leave it long? Hard to tell what he's doing. Well, he's played the right thing, but the only thing is he needed to come up the table another 4 feet. It's still okay though, but he's got to judge the pace right. Oh dear, Andrew. That's a bad one. And he's maybe feeling the pinch here. But that's a gift for Shibo. An unexpected rack there. And Shibo goes back into the lead. But once again, he's nothing on the break this time. And that 2 ball sitting awkward. Well, Andrew went for the jump. And Shibo's now got ball in hand. So what's he going to do to go over for this too? I think he's got to try and move it. Well, I think he's obviously trying to leave the set up for a 2-9 combo. Now I think he's too thin there to try and play the billiard onto the 9, so he's played the next best thing. Tied Andrew up behind the 9. Now is he going to try a jump? No, just a kick. I don't think it was enough room to do that anyway. No, a kick and hope. be happy with that. I don't know whether Shibo can get in behind the 9 again. Maybe he can. But this time he's left room. Didn't want to hit the 9 there. And Andrew going for the kick again. And a good chance of this 2 going in. Oh well, he's sent the cue ball straight into the pocket. And again, ball in hand. What does Shibo do? Is he going for the combo? Might regret this if he doesn't get it. Well, in goes the 9. And on we go. Shibo gets the 9 in the break again. And that is, these 2 9-ball breaks that he's had have came at just the right time. And all of a sudden he's 3 racks in front. But back to the dry break again. There's a lot of work to do here in this rack. But just that one shot, Andrew's opened everything up. It's 2-4 combo, but the 4's clipped to 5. And now Andrew is sitting with an opportunity. Not a great position in the 2, but I think he can come back for the 3 into the left middle. Now what sort of angle is it? Well, he's going to be running over to the 4, and this is where you're just relying on a bit of luck for position. So he seems a bit more keen maybe to take the bank, because he can drop behind the 4 and take it into this corner here between the 8 and the 6 ball. Or he can maybe try and stop it. Well, he's got the double bank. Either way, he's on the 4. That's gone a bit too far. And now he's having to pull out a good shot here. That's what happens. Getting out of line. And this is a bit straight, so Shibo, there is a slight angle there. He can try running through, or he can do the draw, whatever he prefers. And that's actually not bad. It's not as good as he'd want, but it's still a nice angle to get the cue ball up. But needs to watch the pace, and he's controlled the pace well. And this is another one that got away for Andrew this time. And Shibo's now got a 4-rack lead all of a sudden. And in goes the 5. Again, this one ball isn't doing him any favours. And all he has is a push. Well, there's a danger here if he just tries to tuck the cue ball behind the 2, that he's just going to leave an open shot for Shibo. He could thin off the left side of the 1 and try and get the cue ball down. Well, he's went for the bank and had no shot in the 2. So now Shibo, well, there is a cut in the 1. The cue ball's going to be running into that 7 and 6. But a much easier shot actually trying to just play the safe. And Shibo spent far too much time thinking about his shot, and he's given up. Unless I'm out of sync, he's given up control to Andrew there, or was it me? I mean, what's happening here? Is this game playing okay? I'm getting myself confused. Maybe there's a little bit of sync going on here. Anyway, on my screen, Andrew's at the table. All he's going to have is a combo on this 2 and 8, and he's hit that too hard. And now, if he's going to tuck this 2 ball towards the 8, he needs to get the cue ball right out of the way so it's nowhere near. So I think he's banking it and just trying to run for cover. Oh, he's went for the cut. Has to be said, an ambitious shot, but I think he's got away with it, has he? No, he hasn't. And Shibo can, well, all he did was a stun there, but he's got a shot. And you just get the feeling that this match has got to a critical point. Shibo can snatch this rack. He's building himself up a good healthy gap, and this has got to be done carefully because the angle he's got, the cue ball wants to come away from that rail. He had to get that delicate, and of course there's the problem. And now things might be turning the other way again. And that was all down to the fact he left himself too high and could not kill the pace of the cue ball. So now Andrew's going to have to drop the 8 ball in and get the cue ball up and down the table. Oh, if that hits it full in the face, he's scuppered. Well, now he's got a dilemma. There's no way that cuts back. I don't think it does it? At that angle? It'll be a bloody good shot if he gets it, I'll tell you that. And he's running out of time, he needs to watch his shot clock. Well, all he was left with was the very tight angle into the middle, and now this 9 ball's sitting perfect to the bank, and he doesn't want to smash this. He's got to let the bank take the angle, and he could double bank it anyway. Well, he's went for the control bank. He's missed it, and that's this rack gone. He perhaps played that a little too soft. So Andrew gets himself back to just 3 racks behind with the break. And no shot And no ball going down in the break. Well, that's one way to get it safe. Did he play it? I'll have to ask him. Now, I'm looking at this shot here. The shot would be inside English and thin edge on that one and send the cue ball up to the right. Try and get up behind the 5. And that's the shot he's played. And that looks pretty good to me. Oh, that's unlucky. But he might find himself in trouble in a second if Shibo can get this thin enough, because he can bring the cue ball up this far end and just use that 7 as a little stopper. And if he missed the 2, it would have been ideal. Well, there's enough of that edge showing there. Now, I don't know whether he can see enough of that 1 ball to stop the cue ball and just bank the 1 up the table. I don't think he can. But I think he'll play it fairly soft. And maybe try and just stop the cue ball. Maybe a bit of right hand English. It's hard to say. And once again, Andrew's into his extension, so now for the rest of this rack he's going to be hurried. Well, I think he'll take that any day. Shibo, full ball snooker. And his only option by the look of it is going to jump. And again, not only has he jumped, he's played the bank. And that's what, now I'm out of sync, I think, because I can see the ball moving. So what I'm going to do is just while he's at the table, we'll leave it at the moment. There is a slight sync issue, because I can see the ball moved there. And I'll just leave the room and rejoin it. And hopefully the match scores exactly as it sees at the moment. It might be the whole match is out of sync and the racks are entirely different. Oh dear. Well, again, a vital miss, because he was in complete control in this rack until that 4 ball. And now he's handed it back to Andrew. I definitely think there's a little bit of synchronization problem going on here, which hopefully will rectify as soon as I leave the room and come back in. But we'll do that at the end of the rack. Meanwhile, Andrew is trying to finish this rack off to reduce the deficit again. That's gone straight, so he needs that little delicate drawback. About 3 inches would be ideal. Well, it's not moved much, but again, this is just one of these slightly inconvenient cuts that you don't like. But in it goes. And so, according to what I'm looking at, Andrew reduces his deficits to 2 racks, and we'll do a quick exit. And we will rejoin the room. And the scores definitely look okay, so there's just been that little bit of synchronization that hopefully that's been rectified. Well, that was not a good shot, Andrew. One ball's run up over the middle pocket, and that was a terrible shot as well. So now Shibo has got the bank again. Well, he's played the cut. He's just chancing his arm to get a position on this 4 ball, and now he's got to play the bank, and now he's also got the problem of the 5. Well, that was the wiser move, but as he hit too much, well, I think that's touch and go. Whether he can see the potting angle in the 4, he's not convinced himself, I don't think. What does that look like? That is very, very tight. So he decided against it, but he's played the bank. Or did he play it? We don't know, but either way he's not on the 5. Where's this 5 ball going to end up? Behind the 9? No, it's fell short, and Shibo has got to run this out, and that needs to slow up. He's already out of position. He's in the middle of nowhere, and again he's going to have to pull out a good cut on this 6, and probably into the middle would be ideal, and he's underdone it. But now the 9 ball might be his saviour here. Andrew's only left with a long combo on the 9. Well, he's went for the hook shot, but he's left enough room there for Shibo to jump this, no problem. The question is whether he's going to get enough power into this hit on the 6 ball. Well, he's made a right complete hash of that. He took absolutely no time in the jump. I don't know whether he lined it up. I don't know whether he got the right amount of dig in the cue ball. And I don't know whether he's paying attention. And again, we've got that little lag in the shot there. Is Shibo's concentration beginning to wane? That's the question. Because Andrew won't change his style. He just carries on and plays the way he plays. So Andrew creeps ever closer. Shibo still leads by the 1 rack. In goes the 7 ball as well. We've lost the 7 and the 8. Andrew's got a shot in the 1. Can roll through for the 2 into the right middle. Or the left middle if he runs far enough. Well, that's again ended up nowhere. So both players are struggling one way or another at the moment. Just trying to find that line to string 2 or 3 balls together. That's running too hard, I think. Well, he got the kiss in the 4, and that's done him a favour. That would have been sneaking out behind the 4 there if I hadn't kissed it. And again, this time, Shibo is going for the jump, but there's far too much distance, so this cue ball's not going to have a lot of pace in it, I would think. Now, how's his luck? Big pause again. And he's set up the 2-9 combo. And where's Andrew's cue stick gone? He's taking his time. Important shot. This to tie the match up. Well, in goes the 9. And now we're all square. 12 racks all. As we go into rack number 25. And we've been playing for just short of 90 minutes. And he's got a ball in the break. The 8 ball, the 7 ball has gone, and I think the 1 sneaks past the 6. Now, is he going to try and nudge into the 2, or big deep draw to try and hold the cue ball? This is tough. Well, he's played the controlled draw, and he's got the little double kiss that's done him a favour. But you make your own luck in this game most of the time. Well, I wouldn't say that was the prettiest of shots. Did he play for that 3 into the middle? Because it's a tight angle anyway, regardless. And now he's got to pull out a cut and hopefully get the cue ball over to the left rail and not hook himself behind the 8. In fact, he might actually be going beyond it. He might end up taking this 4 ball out into this bottom left here if he plays it with inside English. Well, as predicted, he's ended up hooking himself behind the 8. Well. Couldn't he see that coming? If he'd just nudged that 8, he'd have been perfect. He misses a kick. And now, ball in hand. 5 balls sitting there, all in the open. And no excuses. He's got to run this out. And has to get the right angle in this 8. This isn't easy. You've got to get a nice shot to get down for that 9. Now, how does that look? Right, well, he can certainly stun across. You can just a little bit below the equator and stun across for the 9 into the top left. And that's perfect. Well, that poor positional shot there by Andrew has given this rack away. Shibo back into the lead. And back with the same result in the break. No joy. And Andrew's going to be playing this over the 2. Always a difficult shot looking down in the cue ball, trying to line up the cutting angle in this one. But he should have a shot in the two if he gets this in. And now a nice angle again. Get that cue ball up to the middle pocket. Somewhere in the middle of the table would be ideal, and that's pretty good. And the further he goes, the easier it becomes, because you can just roll this 3 in, and that 5 goes past the 7 and the 8 into that corner. So he's got nothing to do with the cue ball other than he needs to get it off the rail. He doesn't want to be stuck against the rail. Although he could just roll the 5 in, roll the 6 in, roll the 7 in. So the path out is mapped out there for him. And he's got it away from the rail just enough, which means he can dig this cue ball if he wants. But he's just played the roll. And now the dilemma he has here is that he's going to have to kill the cue ball. He's going to have to either just roll through and leave the 8 into the left corner, or just stop it. That's the two choices of shot he has. I don't know whether he's going to try and stun across. No, he's just killed it. And now he's got a nice little angle to drop the 8 in, cue ball off the end rail, back out for the 9, into the same pocket. In goes the 8. And again, we are back tied. 13 racks all. And Andrew's decided to change his break, see if he gets any better results, and no, he hasn't. Now there's a shot here for Shibo. He's got the cut on the 1. He might kiss into the 3, which might hold him for the 2. Now it's all might. It's debatable whether he can get on the 2. But I think at this stage you've got to take the chance. Is he looking at a 1-9 combo? That's going to be ambitious. Oh well, that's done him a favour. That was nowhere near the pocket, but it kissed off the 6, and in it goes. And where that 9 ball's going in again, it was heading for the bottom left-hand corner, and it's been kissed into the middle. And straight away, Shibo has got a 2-rack lead, and straight away he's broke again, and the 9 balls went in, and he's scratched. Well, that's been a whirlwind of confusion there for me. That looked like 3 racks very quickly in a row. That's the word I'm looking for. And well, Andrew's got ball in hand, all the balls in the open, and of course, you know what we say here, you've got to run these out at this level of the game. Now don't leave yourself short, give yourself plenty of room, which he has done. And that's twice that Shibo's had those little bursts where the 9 balls have flown in the break in quick succession. And he's still in the lead, that's all that matters. But Andrew's fallen short, and now the cue ball's going to be running. And we've seen plenty of times what happens when that goes on. Cue ball starts nudging other balls, getting locked up behind a ball and scratching. And the path this is taken, he might end up taking the 6 into the right middle Well, he's played it with inside English to check it, and he's still on the right side of the 6, and that was a good shot, because taking it into the right middle makes it easier to get to the 7. And this is what you guys need to think about when you're playing the game. You have to think about these sort of things, and Andrew there certainly was thinking about his position and played a very good controlled shot to get on that 6 ball. And now he's sitting pretty good on the 7, on the 8. I think there's a little angle he can pinch there, so we can get the cue ball over to the left. And again, controlled it well. Where's the cue ball going though? Oh dear. It's another Titanic. And that scratch there might prove to be a telling tale in the overall result of this match, because Shibo's got a gift, and he now is within 5 racks of winning this match. He's got a ball in the break, but he's got again no shot in the 1. He might billiard onto the 4 here. And he's eating into his shot clock, so again he doesn't want to be pushing himself for the rest of this rack, and he's going to have to now. He's lost his extension. Well, he's played the bank, and now he's going to have to line up a 2-9 combo again. Well, after that last combo that kissed off the 6, he might as well have a go at it. He who dares wins. He's tried to play it controlled. He's left nothing for Andrew, and that was actually well done. The only thing was he could have just hung that 9 ball up, and it's gone to the side rail. So he'll be happy with that outcome. He's got the cut, and unfortunately though, he's got no shot in the 3, and this could be probably his most important kick shot of the match here at this stage. Well, he's got the kick in the 3 and punched in the 4. But he's still got his work cut out here. That 6 ball is sitting in the ugly position right next to that jaw on the left middle. No problem with the 7 ball though. But he's going to have to work the cue ball to get on that 7 if he gets this 6. And he's overcut it. And now Shibo's the one with the problem. Let's see how he deals with it if he gets that far. Now, that 5 does squeeze into the middle. It would be handy if he could just nudge the 6, but he'll probably ended up missing the shot. So now he's in the perfect position where he can just roll the 6 in. Needs to watch that jaw, but he can. And let's see what he's got. Well, that is actually a lot tighter than I thought that might be, and he's pushing it. That's going to have to go off the far jaw if he's going to get this, and the cue ball's got to run up and down the table to get on the 9. I'd be playing a safety here, And he needs to bounce, and that's good. So Shibo played the right shot. Now Andrew's in all sorts of problems here. He can just tap this to the side rail and he won't leave much. And his extension's going. Well, maybe the synchronisation's causing those issues, because it looked as if his clock run out to me. But he's got away with it, and even looking at what's left, the bank isn't on, but he might bank the 9 in. Well, he's tried to cut, and that's sold this rack. And Andrew gets one back. So it's 16 racks to 14 in favour of Shibo. And Andrew comes up dry. He's left a thin cut in the 1. That needs to slow up. It needs to slow. Well, it's just gone 2 inches too far. And I don't think the safety's up that end. He needs to punch the 2 ball away. Has he got the bank? Yes, he has. Again, a very, very thin cut in this 3 ball, and the cue ball's going to be running all over the place. He's trying to help it in with inside. Cue ball going in behind the 9. No. Now can he avoid hitting any of those balls? Well, he's played it right around the angles. Lots of spin on it, and he's sitting in prime position. But again, he has to get the cue ball over to the left rail and needs to avoid that 6 ball. Oh, where's it going? In behind the 8. Well, he's just gone far enough, but he's dead straight. And this is again a difficult shot to control, to give yourself a shot in the 6. He could roll through, come back up about a foot or more and give himself the 6 ball into the right middle, or he could try and squeeze an angle. That's where things can go wrong. Well, he's managed to get in behind it. That's probably the best shot. Maybe a little dab of right hand English there took him in behind that 6. Oh, one of those stun stop shots there, and again it goes offline. And Shibo, can you try and draw back for the 7 into the right middle, or maybe just roll through, because he would have a straight 7 into the top corner. Well, he's forced it around the angles, and again the 6 ball rattled in the jaws. Now he can drop just right behind the 8 ball. I think he can, and take it into the right middle. Well, no, he's leaving it into the corner. And now he's leaving himself a little fiddly cut down the rail. Plenty of margin off the rail there, so he should get this comfortably. Well, in it goes. And straight away, Shibo's regained his 3-rack lead, and he only needs 4 for the match. Now, a couple of balls have gone in. The 7s went in at the top left. Something went into the right middle, which was the 4 ball, and he's sitting perfect in the 1. What a time to get a break like that. Ball's all sitting there, easy pickings. It's just about manoeuvring the cue ball, and that's gone too far. Now it's getting a wee bit ugly. He's got to cut this into the middle, and not too hard. Hit the knuckle and he's okay. And now he's got a nice little angle to run the cue ball round off the 5. Got to be on the 6. Oh dear, what's he done? He's overcut it. And now he's teed it up for Andrew. And that was a bad mistake there by Shibo. He's got to be kicking himself with that shot. An unforced error like that at this stage, it could be crucial. And that looks to be perfect. And just drop the 7 into the 8 in, and just over for the 9. So again, Andrew pegs the score back. And he still trails by 2 racks. And we're getting to the business end of this match. And in goes the 9 in the break. I think that's Andrew's first 9 ball in the break. I might be wrong, but all that matters is he's now just trailing by 1 rack. And what a time to get a 9 ball in the break. And something else has gone into the middle there. What was that one? 3 balls going into the middle. He's got a thin cut along the rail in the 1. He's going to be coming up for the 2 ball. Where's the cue ball going to finish? He's going to get a nice kiss. Well, I think he'll take that any day. He uses his 6 ball as a stopper, and now he's in prime position. Get the cue ball right out into the middle of the table. Where it is right now would be ideal. And you can just roll in the 6 and drop behind the 9 for that 7 ball. And that's pretty nigh where you'd want to be. You can just drop through the right hand side of the 9. And he's left himself that perfect little angle. He's got a choice. He can just stun the 7 in and send the cue ball up to the right here, or he can just roll through and put a little bit of spin on it. But he should be on the 8 ball next. And that looks good. It needs to get off the rail though. Now these type of shots, I always play them with a little bit of bottom and come back across, and that's what he's done. And this should be fairly straightforward. And in it goes. And all of a sudden, that 3 rack deficit has been blown away. It's now 17 racks all. And nothing has gone in. The 4 ball threatened to go in, but it will be going in a minute because Shibo will just be able to roll the one onto it. He needs to roll onto it dead weight though. He's going to find himself in trouble here if he doesn't hold up the 1 ball, because that's going to run away to the left. And that's what it's done. But he's still got an edge of it though. And he's hit it too thin. I don't think he played the safety. I think he played the cut. But I think he'll be happy with that one. And this is difficult to hit it in such a way that he's not going to scratch. And I don't even think he can come off the right rail. I think he's just going to try and drop onto it dead weight. And his shot clock extension's already expired. And he's not got a lot of time to make up his mind here. And he's tried to play the deliberate foul and tie them up, but he's had no joy. And that's now given Shibo a chance. And that's a poor shot. That's really bad. And now he's going to have to play some whirlwind cut shot or play this into the bottom left, but it's not the shot he wanted to be playing. But he's pulled it out. And again, he needs to sneak out. He doesn't need to hit this hard. He just needs to sneak out between that 6 and 7 and leave himself a shot in the 5. It needs to bounce. Oh dear. Well, he's doing everything he can to ruin his chances in this rack. How's his luck? Well, again, he's came up trumps. What a time to get a run of the ball. And I think this is just going to be a bag and hope here. I can't see any way he can kick this and pot it. He's going to jump it and try and catch the edge of it. Is it going to get in behind the 9? Well, he'll be happy with that. That's excellent. And now the pressure's on Shibo. Crucial part of the match. And he's always going to cut that in the open. And that's gifted Andrew an opportunity to take the lead. And again, he needs to get through and down the table, or is he going to leave this 6 ball long into the bottom left? Ideally, he wants to come towards us to the south side of the 6 in this bottom half of the screen. And, well, he's still got a shot, but he's playing it from distance again. And the cue ball has got to be kept under control. He might be playing this with a bit of inside just to check it off the bottom rail. And this is where things can go wrong. Well, he's just rolled it in dead weight. Again, he's leaving himself the long 7 ball, but the cue ball this time, we know where it's going, straight over to the right hand rail. And this is effectively rack ball if he gets it. He's going to have to play a really bad shot not to get on the 9 off the 8. But he's still got to get the 7. And again, he's leaving himself short here, but he's got the ideal angle for the cue ball to come across. In goes the 8, and here's a little tester for the nerves. Fairly straightforward 9. You'd get this 10 out of times most days. And in it goes. And so once again Andrew has worked his way back in, and he's now leading 18 racks to 17, and there's nothing doing for him in the break. And Shibo has got a fiddly little pot on the 1 here, and he needs to get out beyond this 7, and he's hit it hard, and now he's got a tough cut in the 2. And this isn't going to be easy to run this rack. And it needs to slow down. And again, he's got no way of getting on the 4. He's got to play a lot of movement in the cue ball to get onto this 4. And it needs to slow down again. He doesn't want to hook himself. Well, he's got a thin cut. And again, it looks as if he's going to take the long way around to get on these balls. And this time it hasn't worked out, but it's gone safe. Or as safe as it's going to be. So the crucial ball, or the crucial shot, is getting this 4 ball and getting onto the 5. Whoever gets in control of the table. Andrew goes all out for the cut, and he got on the 5. And Shibo's got a choice. He can try and billiard the 6 in. He can try cutting the 4 onto the 6. He's went for the bank. Is he going to get lucky again? Well, maybe not this time. And I think Andrew can use that side rail once he hits the 4 and get back up for the 5. And it's not an easy shot. He needs to watch he doesn't draw into the middle pocket. And that's a great shot. Executed it perfectly. And as long as he avoids colliding with the 8, he should be sitting pretty on the 6 ball. He's looking to come back anyway, so he's taking that risk out of the equation. And now here's the crucial shot. Get onto the 7. Well, they're all crucial at this stage. He might just be coming across to the left, or he might be drawn to take it into the middle. So we know what's going to happen here, and he's got to avoid the 9 ball. There's plenty of room to avoid the 9 ball when he pots this 7. And get that cue ball back up to this end here for the 8. And that's well played again. How's the angle though? How's the angle? Well, it's going to have to be bottom and right hand English. And this is the danger of scratching in the bottom corner if he gets too much on it. Let's see, watch the cue ball fizz up the table. Once it hits that rail. And he's played it well. And how's that 9 against the rail? Well, that's okay. That's comfortable. Could just nudge it along there into the pocket. Well, Andrew now has got a 2-rack gap between him and Shibo, and we need to see some of that Djokovic fighting spirit from the Serb. Andrew's come up drying a break. And Shibo just tucks him behind the 8. There's room to jump that though. But probably just as easy to kick at it. Oh, and he's missed a kick. And now the question is being asked of Shibo. 7 balls in the top position next to that jaw, but Shibo's been asked to run out. Now I hope he's paying attention and realises he's got ball in hand. Yes, he is. And this will be a good run out if he gets it. He knows he has to though. And he's run too far, has he? No, he's okay. And he might be colliding into the 6 and the 9, and he doesn't want to be nudging the 6 towards the rail either. He needs to take his time, use his shot clock. Well, he's now nudged the 9 clear of the 6. And no problem with the 4. He just needs to roll it in. He doesn't need to stun it in or anything. He just needs to get that shot in the 5. Well, he has stunned it in, and now we're at one of the first of the critical points of this run out is getting from the 5 to the 6. Now he could draw back over towards that middle pocket where the 7 is. He might hit the 7. And he's just trying to draw up to take the 6 into the top right. And that's a good shot. But now he's the wrong side of the 7. And he's going to have to play it down into this bottom right as we're looking. But he's trying to get behind it the other way and he's nowhere. So now he's got problems. And it's an all or nothing shot on the 7. And this cue ball is going to go dangerously close to scratching. He's playing it with bottom. Oh well, there's a bit of luck for you. In no way in this earth did he ever play that shot, but he'll take it. He will take that. And now he just needs to stop himself and make sure he doesn't do something stupid with this 9 ball. So in it goes. And that was critical that he won that rack. And something's flown in the break. 2 balls have gone in. He's got a shot in the 2. Now if he comes around the angles, which he's tried to check it up, he's still left himself a cut. He should be okay. But he needs to watch the cue ball again. The cue ball's going to be running. He just needs to thin the 3 onto the 4. And he's still alright. And now he can roll the 3 in dead weight. And again a nice little angle to run through to the left hand side for the 7 into the right middle. So everything's going according to plan here in this rack so far. And he's hit that far too hard. What the hell's he doing? He didn't want to play playing that 7 ball from there. I can't believe that. I know if I ask him he's going to say he did, but I don't believe that for 1 minute. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's got the 8 into the middle. What's the angle like? That's fine. Stuns it across for the 9. And once again, we're going to have what looks like a nail biter, like the match we had last night with Stuane Kubrick and Billy Bigrigger. It went all the way, and this match is tied up at 19 all. The one ball's going into the left middle. How's he locking the two? Well, he's going to have to manufacture the combo. It's pretty good. So in goes the 7. He's sitting pretty in the 2. The 3 goes past the 9. He's hit that too hard, has he? No, he's okay. And that 5's tucked in behind the 8. Plenty of room though. It goes into both pockets, no problem there. But he's now gone 2 square in the 4. Now, this has to be played at a controlled pace. He's going to run over towards the 6 if he gets the cut. And he's hit it too hard. And now he's got a straight choice. He goes all out for the cut. He's going to be colliding with the 8 ball. He's going to try and draw back, I think, or is he going to try and kill it behind the 8? He's got to make his mind up. And this might be make or break time. Well, what happened there? Well, not a lot, and other than the fact he's left it safe. And the 8 ball's blocking the bank. So I think Andrew might be looking to try and tuck the cue ball behind the 9 here and just nudge that 5 towards the 6. That's certainly, I think, what I'd be doing. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, I think I'd be trying that. Just nudge that 5. Try and get it behind the 6 or as close as he can and get that cue ball over to the 9 ball side of the table. He needs to watch his clock again. That's okay, but surely Shibo's not going to be tempted to try a wild cut in this 5. He can feather the 5 and just bring the cue ball into the table, and he's done it. And that's good. And Andrew, is he looking to bank this into the corner? No, he's thinking up something different, I think. Well, he tried to hook him behind the 6. It hasn't worked out. And a great chance here for Shibo. And now nothing could be simpler than just rolling the 6 in, rolling the 8 in and bring the cue ball off the rail. And what a critical time this is. Now that's just gone a wee bit uncomfortable, but he should be fine. And it goes. And so Shibo is looking for a 9 ball in the break. He leads by 20 racks to 19. The 9 ball isn't doing anything, but he's scratched. Oh dear, this has got the same storyline written on it as that match from last night. Andrew's got all the balls on the table, ball in hand, and knows he has to run out to save this match. Now looking at the path out here, he's got to either decide straight away, depending on the angle he has in this 4 ball when he pots the 3, he's got to decide whether he's just rolling through for that 5 into the left middle as we look, or try and get the cue ball back out for the 5 into the same pocket as the 4. But then again, there's balls in the way. So this is an important decision. Oh dear, this is going to end up really ugly, I think. Is it? Well, now the danger is he's going to go off the table here. This is a short jump shot. He's more than likely going to get the 4. But how does he control the cue ball and stop it from bouncing off the table? It's a short jump. And I don't think he likes it. But that was a poor positional shot by Andrew. Tyler the wrong time. He's got the jump and the cue ball just stayed on, but he's got no shot in the 5. And Andrew might have blown his chances there. Can he see the edge of the 5? Well, he's going to be cutting this towards the bottom right hand corner, or at least over to the side rail towards the middle pocket. And where's the cue ball going to end up though? And Andrew's shot clock's running out. He's having to rush. And this is a tough one. The 5 ball's on. Shibo knows he has to get the cue ball back for this 6. He's going to have to go all out, and he's made a hash of it. Didn't get anywhere onto the 6. And he's given it back to Andrew. But again, this is a high cut, so the cue ball is going to be running unless he plays some sort of English on it, which makes it even more difficult. He's going to be struggling to hold. Going to play a drag shot, try and kill as much pace off the cue ball as he can, I think. And that's what he's done, and that's holding his nerve to play that shot. But again, drawn for position, and he's overhit it. And this is why drawn for position is never the best way to play. And he's going to just try and bank the 7 behind the 8 and 9. Well, he's went crosswise, and I think that's worked out not bad. I think Shibo can see an edge, and all he's going to do is cut that 7 towards the pocket. So he should be trying to kick behind the 8 and 9, and he's, oh dear, he's forgot about the cue ball though. And that's 2 critical scratches, one in the break and one at the business end of the rack. And this looks as if we're heading to sudden death. And Andrew just needs a little draw back for the 9. And in it goes, and just a straight 9 to tie the match up. 20 racks all with the break in the final decider. And this match has been almost 2 hours 20 minutes. And he's looking for a good break. The 9 ball stays more or less static. The 1 ball certainly did. And nothing's gone down. Although the 9's been kicked away again. And the 1's safe. And Shibo's got to be looking for cover. And he's played that. Oh, I thought that was going to run out there, but he's played it okay. He's got him tight to the 8 ball. And now it's a little bit of a hit and hope here, but there is cover there, so he's just got to hope he gets it. But I think that's a straight 1 ball between the 3 and the 7. It is. Well, all the balls are there for the taking, and many times have we said that. And this is a critical one, because this 7 ball could be a problem, and that's what's bothering him. He's got to maybe leave himself the long 3 into the top right past the 9. And he's fallen short, but he's still got a chance for the 3. And he could run down behind the 4 and take it into the left middle. That's a shot. He doesn't want to thump this in. He just wants the cue ball to run down. And it goes, and that's perfect, I think. Yeah. Let's go to his view. Well, he can use the 8 as a stopper. The 8's a wee bit of a hindrance, but he's fine. Oh, that is an absolute shocker. Oh dear. That is a shocker. And I think Shibo might have just waved his chances goodbye there with that 5 ball. That's something where you just take that extra 4 or 5 seconds to make sure you haven't got any unwanted English on the cue ball, and you're not sending the object ball offline. And he didn't do it. But this 6 ball straight, what's the 7 look like? Well, again, 9 times out of 10 he's going to knock this in and just roll to the rail and leave the 8 into the left corner. And in it goes. Well, look at the room that he's got. He can just draw off the 8. Big margin of error here. And he's perfect. Controlled it well, and a little roll in the 9. And Andrew wins the match by 21 racks to 20. And Shibo's going to have nightmares about that 5 ball in the final rack. And Andrew moves on to round number 3. And Shibo, like a lot of the others, is going to have to battle his way through the 1 loss side.